I had a deal with TNA in 2010, 2011, 2012, a 3-year deal, and I was getting paid X amount for 75 matches a year.
Thanks for the $2. Who did you want to drop the TNA championship to? Was there anybody in particular you'd be like, I could have dropped the title to him and that would have been cool?
That's a good question. I'll be damned. I'm trying to. I mean, it's. I think maybe there might be an answer to your question. Maybe I think I might have felt that way, but I'm not sure right now. I'm trying to think like I'm trying to remember honestly, like who was on the roster. I know there was like James Storm. I think Sabu was gone towards the end. But I think AJ was around, and
AJ, yep.
It's really hard. Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian.
I'm trying to think who else was there. From
the guy who did drop it too. I should have thought of his name. Should have thought of his name before I said that.
Vacated. It says I think you vacated it. Is that what happened?
Oh yeah, I did that. You know what? What did I do? Get 2 titles?
So it said the championship was vacated due to Rob Van Dam suffering a storyline injury. This episode aired on a tape delay on August 19th, 2010. So I didn't know it was a storyline injury.
Yeah, they had like Janice like rip me open like I was filleted, like poured
Oh,
yeah. People thought I was dead. Some of them that bought it, you were like, "Oh my god, I was crying."
They killed RVD. What the hell? It's a horror movie. Huh? Yeah, AJ would have been a good one. You guys like just his style, and he was still like up and coming at the time as a top TNA star. So he would have been cool. Daniel would have been neat.
It's hard for me to think of like who all was there, so that's the reason it's hard to answer. But I think that maybe I might have felt, I don't know. I mean, I was working with Abyss, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It could have went that way too.
Bobby Roode, he was still kind of cutting his teeth there. He was cutting his teeth. James Storm, I love James Storm, so he would have been cool. I always thought he was really underutilized.
I would have rather kept the title though.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I think. Why do you have to give it up, right? You could have just gone on a Bruno Sammartino run or whatever.
Well, yeah. By the way, just in case people don't know what happened, I had a deal with TNA in 2010, 2011, 2012, a 3-year deal, and I was getting paid X amount for 75 matches a year. If I went over the 75 matches, then I would get paid at a per rate at that rate per match afterwards. And what happened on this particular year is we went over the 75 matches, and they were continuing to book me, and I was feeling good, and I was like, I'm just going to keep getting this money, and I'm not going to say anything, and it went on for a couple weeks, whatever. And then somebody noticed, and they said, "Oh shit, we gotta fucking take a break." And what they would do is, boom, stop the contract for that year, and then we would continue again into year 2. When that was ready to kick in, like after the first of the year. So in order to stop my contract and suddenly end all storylines or anything to do with me, they decided to just show me backstage all bloody and sliced up from Janice, try to put the heat on Abyss, and took me off in an ambulance ride. And then the thing that was really funny about that was then a couple months later, when it was time to start the fresh 75 matches for contract year number 2, I went back right in and had like some gauze like wrapped around my forearm or something. Like I just like healed, had plastic surgery and some healed like Superman in the yellow sun, I guess.
That's so weird. What a weird decision to make. Like, let's bloody him up with Janice and then take him out. Oh fuck, we ran out. We weren't paying attention to the contract. Yeah, that's funny shit.
Yeah, and I knew. I think I were on match 82 or something like that, and I was like, "Sweet, let's just keep it coming,
Let's
man."
keep rolling, baby. Let's
So
keep
in
doing it.
WWE, I worked way many more matches for the same amount of money.
Yeah, right?
Way more. 72 matches wouldn't have been a year in WWE. It would have been a short 2 months, right? No,
Yeah.
60 days and 2 months, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess in 3 months, we would have done, let's see, if we did, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, if we did I guess we did roughly 20, 25 matches a month, probably in WWE. So basically, anyway, in 3 months in WWE, I would have had about the same amount of matches as I would have had in 12 months in TNA after I left WWE, and then in 2007, and then turned up in TNA in 2010, and the money was very comparable on
Okay.
the annual on the annual. So it was much less work, for the same money. So just like I always say, life just keeps getting better and better and better, and it's all a perspective of how you look at the narration that you tell yourself. But for me, I've always been right, and so there's never been a reason to think anything but.
That's it, man. That's it. Lady Nisa. Thanks for the $5. She says, please talk about how someone can go from yoga to deep stretching. Are there any deep stretching fitness influences you would recommend?
No, there's not. I don't know other like instructors or anybody to mention. All I know is DDP, and I know
Yeah.
DDP has a great track record. I know he helps a lot of people, and he has some really cool programs. He was doing something where he would get up every morning. I don't know if he's still doing this or not. Probably knowing him, and he would do a session live on his app, so everyone everywhere could do it with him. And he would do that a couple times a day, and But outside of that, I don't know because I didn't do a lot of studying. A lot of my studying, almost all of it was internal, so it was just me. I learned a little bit about stretching in like health and fitness class and in gym class, things like that. Followed up with it. Uh, I learned that when you're building muscle, you're creating a hypertrophy situation, so your muscle fibers will swell, and that because they're bigger, they'll take up more space within your joints. And so I was told that I need to stretch to counter that. Otherwise, I'll lose flexibility as I pack on muscle. I learned that way back in high school. It became very important to me. And I just always stretched. When I got into martial arts, that was a big part of what they do. And, I wanted to be able to do the splits. So I had that desire that made me want to work at it. Um, I always like taught myself in the same way that I taught myself gymnastics. I couldn't tell you anything about gymnastics because I taught myself how to do flips on a trampoline and on a diving board. And then eventually I was like, I saw this little girl do it first off of a fence post. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, if I'm going to land feet first anyway, what's it matter if it's water or the ground? And I started doing it off everything. And me and Dango both. But Can't talk a lot about instructions because I was self taught, and with stretching, it's such an inner experience. What I learned is it's all about relaxing, and if you're not relaxing, then you're not doing it right. It's not supposed. And I sweat when I go through my whole stretch routine. I go head to toe. I don't really stretch my head, but I do pull my head and stretch my neck. um, it's in different angles, but in different angles. Like I do everything standing up, and then I do like from a deep squatted position, and then I sit and I have all these stretches I do. Everything I do to the left side, then I do it to the right afterwards. Just or the other way around. I have a standing position, the deep squatted position. I have a sitting position on the ground. Then I have a laying on my back position on the ground. Then I have a split position on the ground, which that one's kind of limited. I just kind of touch, my toes and reach forward and kind of get up over it and stuff. And then I have a face down, ass up position where I'm on my stomach, on my chest, on the ground, stretching. And when I go through all of that and all the stretches that I have in each position, it takes like an hour, and I am sweating afterwards. It's a workout, not a warm up, but it's relaxing is the key though, because I have to use certain muscles in order to let other muscles relax. Mm-hmm. It's a form of self-spotting. So in other words, like if I squat down and I'm really over, like if I'm over like one of my feet that's squatted and my other leg is kind of extended out there, if I really want to relax my hamstring that's extended, all of my weight has to be on that foot, and then I can put my hands down on each side of my leg and make like a tripod. But I have to know enough to transfer the weight to that completely so that the intended muscle can relax. There's really a lot to it. There's positional. There's also movement. There's breathing. There's what I'm focusing on. But the most important thing is not contracting the muscle that you want to stretch, but in fact, doing the opposite and relaxing it.
Yeah, relaxing is key. Breathing's key. I really couldn't tell you. If Rob can't tell you too, I definitely can't. But I can attest for DDP yoga and stuff like that, and how great that is. And that really makes you focus on your body and certain muscle groups and everything like that. It's big. He's really big into concentrating on that and dynamic resistance. So
I would love to, in contrast to DDP's style, I would love to have an RVD stretch routine and say, hey, look, this is what I do before my matches. I've been doing it for 30 years. I got a longer career than anybody because I'm the toughest motherfucker. It's because of this stretch routine right here. Bam. But it's such an internal thing, and there's so much going on that not only do I not know how to explain it, but it's contradictive if I try to talk while I'm doing it. DDP, on the other hand, he wants you to scream and count,
He does.
Yeah. So that's quite different.
Count it down.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Bro.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, suck it in. Come on, count with me. 10. Yeah, that's like part of the intensity of it. Is. Yeah, it's cool, super cool, but I don't know. It's just different from what I do.
Man, yes, different strokes, for different folks.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.